First thing I want to talk about is Lakewood, and that it's not built on the swamp. All right, it's Scott from RAVN Homes. I'm here with Bernie Birchhill from Contour and Matt Hassan from BlueCon. And so we're here today to talk about what is in the ground around here, the surface water. We're gonna fly over from here down to Lakewood, show you everything. And these guys are gonna talk about what they deal with when they're building a subdivision.
Look at all the flat ground here. You get water sitting everywhere, right?
Yeah.
That's just the nature of the whole beast there.
These are two guys that are very important in the first part of the development after everything's been engineered. And this is kind of a rumor that's gone around, and the whole idea is that at one time the town had their stored water reservoir there. And so, yes, they held water in that area. But we're going to talk to these two guys about what happens. So after all of the engineering and the land's purchased and somebody does a geodetic study showing where the high spots are, the low spots and everything, Bernie shows up. So the land is exactly how it was bought. And they design everything. And what do you do, Bernie?
We show up on site and we'll stake it out. We'll get a surveyor out there and he'll stake it out. And first of all, we'll strip it. We'll strip the topsoil off, put it in a pile, and then we'll get the surveyors in. Then they come in and basically tell us what the grades are going to be.
So when you're talking about stripping, you just mean the black dirt?
Yeah, the black dirt.
Okay.
The black dirt gets taken off and saved on the side so we can screen it and put it back down on the lots later.
Okay.
And then we come in and the surveyor stakes it, tells us to cut our fill. Obviously the hills come off, the low spots get filled up. If there is some low spots that need to be, let's say, stripped deeper, because if it was holding a drop of water or whatever, pool of water, then we would strip that out, over excavate it. The site engineer will come and he'll say, yes, that's good. Then we start filling it back in with the cut on site.
So within what you're doing, there's an engineer on site. Is there anybody from government agencies and everything checking to make sure you're not doing anything wrong?
No, the engineer basically, he tells us, he'll test the dirt. Once we put the dirt in layers, he'll test the dirt, put it in a densometer, and he will tell us, yeah, it's good. Compact it to the right density, and then we'll put another layer on.
So the densometer?
Yeah.
So that's the thing that tells people this ground is suitable to hold whatever we're doing there, a road, that kind of thing. Okay. So when you're working out in Lakewood, it's the same as every other place. There's low spots that have to be filled, high spots that have to be cut down.
Correct. It's no different than any subdivision in Calgary, Chestermere, the surrounding area. It's the same dirt, it's the same topography, and it's like, this is what you got to do to make it work so that we can get the roads in, we can get the subdivision, or we can get the lots in at a certain elevation, the design elevation.
Right. So then everywhere around the city and inside of the city, you have all the same issues.
Same issues.
Okay.
There's low spots, high spots, they're just the way it is.
Okay. So that addresses Lakewood. So you get all the dirt so it looks perfect, and then he shows up.
Yep.
And what does he do? He just makes a mess of everything.
Just makes a mess of all my nice work.
So Matt,
unfortunately, he's pretty close to that there. And I always laugh there. You said like every site in Calgary, Chestermere, Langdon, anywhere east of Center Street in Calgary and up to Winnipeg, Manitoba, is flat ground. And flat ground isn't flat like this table. It's got highs and lows.
Right.
The lows gather water, the highs shed water.
Right.
And so when Bernie talks about cleaning out these areas there, that's just where water's been sitting for a while. And these densometers, and in its compaction, they control how much moisture is in the dirt to reach that compaction level there.
Okay.
So if it's too wet, he's got to dry it. If it's too dry, he's got to add water.
Okay.
So it's closely regulated. But so I just wanted to add to that. But yes, then I come in and I destroy the perfect picture he's delivered me. He goes in there and he grades it and it looks perfect. You can almost build a road on it there. And then I have to dig it all up.
Right.
And generally, I dig deeper than Bernie does.
Right.
And Bernie takes out highs, fills lows generally, and sometimes he goes deeper as well. But we're down there. We're down over 20, maybe up to 30 feet in some areas.
And then below for the next 30 minutes.
So Matt, when you were doing the deep services for Phase 2B, I was kind of watching it, and so how far down would you have gone?
2B wasn't probably as deep as some of the earlier phases there. I'm going to guess, probably, less than 20 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Digging.
Right.
And it's far from a swamp.
Right.
It's the opposite of a swamp actually there, and I can show you some pictures up here, just some of our excavations in Lakewood there.
Yeah.
But we're actually hitting rock. So this is on the top. You may have just normal silts and clays.
Right.
And as you get digging deeper, we've got some rock outcrops here. And I'll just scroll through. This is just a fossil, like this dirt's been here as long as Bernie's been around. And but you could just see the layers of rock, and
Right.
it's far from swamp.
Right.
Again, just some excavations here showing you, and it's not blasting rock or anything, but it's just a shale type rock that a big excavator can dig through.
Right.
But it's fairly solid. Here you'll see, and this is we do the same as Bernie. There we have we compact the dirt in layers as
Right.
we fill the trenches. The independent party comes in and tests our dirt just like he does Bernie's here.
So what you're doing here, this is all of the services,
sanitary, storm, and water.
Yeah.
Where we're giving the utilities so that when you turn on your tap after you build your home in Lakewood there,
Yeah.
the water comes out
Okay.
and it flows away after you flush a toilet.
Okay.
So this is just some of our daily operation, if you want to call it there. So this, I'm going to look at, this is how Bernie delivers it, okay?
Right.
This is how Bernie delivers it. Looks like we're just starting this latest phase in Lakewood here. Looks like we've got some work done here, but looks like we might not have touched that. Either that or we're almost finished the job and we've graded it a little bit again here. So it's just, this is the park area there. So Bernie's graded all this, he's put in topsoil here, and this is the next phase. So it looks like we're just starting work here. It looks like,
Okay.
well,
This is probably
no, I'm correcting myself. I see manholes in here, so this
Okay.
is, we've dug it all up, we've backfilled and compacted it there.
Okay.
So, I'm just trying to see if we find a picture. Like, over here, that looks like the storm ponds. But generally there, anytime you get a site, and especially this site, as Bernie described there, it was the old town reservoir for their water treatment plant.
Right.
And it leaked. And then we have a canal owned by the WID over here, and it leaks. And we've put in a trench to collect all that water over here so that it
Right.
doesn't affect the subdivision. It's right beside the canal.
Okay.
But when Bernie will go in there and the engineers design it there, basically, if the land is like this, Bernie will make it like this, so
Right.
water sheds,
Okay.
right?
So that's the whole idea of the engineering is.
Exactly.
You have to make the water run somewhere.
Right.
So-
So there's highs and
okay.
lows, and where there's lows, we put in some storm drains. Like
Okay.
on a road,
Right.
there's no road that's flat and goes
Right.
gravity all the way. There's ups and downs, but you'll notice that every low spot on the road, there's a catchment.
Catch base.
That'll catch water.
Okay.
So there are highs and lows, but that's on the road. But when you get to the lots are all graded towards the street.
Right.
So there's actually nothing built on a swamp, and like I say, this is the complete opposite. So
Okay.
here we were talking, we're compacting dirt, and as I said earlier, there, if it's too wet, we have to dry it. If it's too
Yeah.
dry, we have to add water. And here, this dirt is too dry,
Right.
far from a swamp.
So yeah, because you can't compact it if it's dry.
No, the soil is like dough; it has to bind together.
Okay.
Okay, to a consistency.
Yeah.
And again, anybody who's made bread, if it's like too much water, that you can't compact it, and if it's too dry, it won't bind together.
When's the last time you made bread?
I watched my wife lots.
Oh, okay. Okay. Just wanted to confirm.
Sometimes I critique her, how well that goes. But this is exactly what these guys are doing. We have a water truck, and they're putting in. And again, when we compact dirt, we put in layers like this.
Right.
Compact it, test it, another layer, and so on and so forth.
You can't pack 4 feet.
You can't pack 4 feet. No.
Because
Okay.
the tester won't pass it.
Yeah, he won't pass
Gotcha.
it. So here on the excavator, you actually see here a ripper, and so he's actually ripping, and we have a gas line here. So he can't dig as freely because of that gas line. So
Right.
he's ripping the rock just to be a little more intricate. But again, here's the irrigation canal over here.
Right.
This is that stub into that property, Bernie, that 10-acre site, I believe. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is the soils we're dealing with in Lakewood.
Right.
Here. So it's I think we came to the end of the line in photos there. So
Okay.
so areas we haven't touched, and I think we've almost touched all areas now. But generally, when you take a quarter section of land or whatever there, you build it in phases there. So might look good, might look swampy over there.
It looks pretty dry everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, if you look at the fields north, south, west, whatever they're all holding water. Well, that's what Lakewood was kind of when it started.
Well, for sure. You're always going to have water.
But by the time the phases roll in that direction, the engineering will have been done already there. Everything will flow in a natural direction.
Okay.
Either through gravity or through a piping system,
Yeah.
and it's going to look beautiful and
And
solid
out it
all the way
goes.
through.
Okay. So Bernie, how deep have you dug out there?
We've gone anywhere up to 30 feet,
Okay.
30 feet, 35 feet.
Yeah.
And again, we hit this formation, this rock formation there that, like Matt's got in this picture, he's got a ripper on. And the reason he's got the ripper on, because there's rock there, and he's ripping the rock to make
Right.
it smaller so his bucket can dig. We get into that all the time. We have a bigger work area, so we use big cats
Yeah.
to rip it.
Okay. Well, so this is, I mean, this table is a perfect example.
This is what we do, yeah.
Yeah.
This is what we do. And so it's on both ends. This end is the completed end. We try and make it look like Bernie left it for us. And that's where Bernie, it would have been untouched, and we're going to tear it up. And we put in the pipe just like this. So this is a perfect example. Adding water to the soils over here, compacting, small compactor around a manhole, large compactor down in the ditch. And yeah, so this is kind of in this example here, we're putting in 2 pipe right now. So that's what we do, just different size pipe on different days.
Yeah.
For about 200 days a year.
Okay. So really, the whole thing for us is we have people coming into the show home, and naturally, with any small community, there's rumors about this and rumors about that. And some people are pretty afraid of that. They think, oh, my house is going to sink. And so I explained to them what we have to do after you guys have gone through all your engineering. We still have to do soil bearing tests on our excavation. We have to do soil samples. So if there was anything that maybe you guys missed, we have to fix it. I've never experienced it in a subdivision where it's like, oh man, this compaction won't work. So the whole idea is there's all these layers of protection for our customers. And I really trying to stress that. And of course, Mason's in the show home, and he gets to meet all these people, and they have questions for him. And it's sometimes hard for people to say, "Oh, I trust you because you're selling me something." But we want everybody to know that everything has been designed, engineered, and triple checked to be sure that it works. Now, the one thing that I did want to ask you guys about is in this subdivision, we have storm sewers, which are not always the case in houses. We put sump pits and sump pumps in a lot of places, but with a storm sewer, you got a pipe that runs that water straight out if there's ever any water, which happens around during big rain events. We oftentimes have to get water out of the basement, but it's because there's too much water. And sometimes people don't put their downspouts down and the
Yes.
water doesn't get away from their house. which is a huge issue for people. So that's something everybody should know. Those downspouts, with the piece that goes away from your house, should be down when it's
and graded away from your house, right?
Away.
Yeah, no, that's been an issue not in any subdivision. It's your landscape and the finishers, the guys who make it all look pretty. They're the ones who can make that happen or not happen.
Right.
And I know you as a builder there, you build a foundation, you put the gravel around it, you put the sweeping tile, and then you hook into the pipe that we've brought into the property.
Right.
So that water drains.
It's got to go.
It drains. We bed all our pipe bed. When I say bed, if you look down here, we put gravel around all our pipe.
Right.
Right. And over time, water will find its way in that gravel. Like if I were to dig this a pipe up in Lakewood today that's been sitting for a year, if I dug down to the gravel, you may see some water down there, but essentially we've created a big weeping tile under the ground, and over time moisture can find its way to the gravel. It's the easy spot, just like your weeping tile around the house, right? In areas with rock, when you have a clay layer and then rock, a lot of times you'll find water on top of the rock because it can't go further.
Right.
Like it's stuck there. So when you dig it up, say, oh my gosh, there's water in the trench. Well, it's just, they call it perched water.
Yeah.
And it's basically stopped because the rock is there.
And that's so much deeper than a foundation.
Yeah.
It's not even a comparison.
No, it's very seldom, I'm going to say, that when you grade a subdivision that you're actually filling large areas that are deeper than any footings that he's putting in, right? You're taking out highs, you're filling in lows, but you're not down here where you're going to be building a house. So when you do a bearing, how many bearing certificates have failed for you? Like any?
No, the only time I ever have issues is on an acreage where you guys aren't there.
Right.
So we pick a spot and we start digging a hole, and somebody, well, I mean, as you guys know, you can have black dirt veins, you can have drifting from years and years of that. So we're really careful on acreages. That's where I have to know some of the stuff that you guys do. I'm not like you guys, but I know we can't put a footing there. Right. So we dig deeper until we find clay. Right. But as again, the different kinds of dirt you find that brown dirt that has got organics in it, but you know.
And if you were to hit a layer of gravel somewhere in all that dirt, you'll find water in there because water will penetrate the gravel and it'll sit there. Now it's stuck.
Okay.
Right? You know, so sometimes, you know, if you have that in a subdivision, you know, an engineer might work out some sort of a drainage system, a weeping tile system to make sure water doesn't pocket these areas there. But there's a lot of money spent on a subdivision before he moves in with his first machine.
Right. And that's, again, I've talked about this in some of our other videos, and it's how much money is spent so that you can flush your toilet. There's a lot of people who don't think about it. You know, they think the cost of something's too high. Man, when you see what you guys have to do to get it to the point where you can build on it, and I mean, that's not including the roads and the sidewalks and everything. So that was really why I wanted to talk to you guys today, because there's experts and then there's experts. And the experts that I think of all the time are the people who do it, because sometimes they're the most informed because their experience of day to day dealing with the issues they find out that an engineer might not know about until you dig that hole.
Right.
So anyways, that was our biggest thing, because we just really want to make sure that people are comfortable with where they build and that they have trust in that we are looking after them even after you guys have already looked after them. So that's a big
you think about the subdivision that's been around since 2015. Phase 1 has probably got 50, 60 homes on it, built back 16, 17. And if you drive in there, nothing is falling over. The roads are good. Everything is just, it's the way it should be. And the process works. And it's the same process in Calgary, Langdon, Cochrane,
wherever.
It's the same thing. It's the same process. And I just want to talk about the pipes there, Matt, because those pipes that you see, that you put in, the storm runs to 2 storm ponds on site that we've created to catch the water. and that elevation of that water is way below any footing that you'll ever put in.
Right.
So there is no flooding. Yes, there's runoff off the top when the hard surface is in, which I mean the asphalt, but that gets drained to catch basins, into the storm, into the water, into the ponds, and then slowly released.
Yeah.
The way it's designed. So there's absolutely no way that this place will flood. It's pretty much impossible.
No,
As long as everything works.
And everybody loves a good rumor, I suppose.
Yeah,
but you know, I think you're doing the right thing. Just ask people who know, and it's like me critiquing my wife's cooking. I'm not a very good cook. I have no business critiquing her cooking. And most people probably buying a house, and you know, we respect them all, but they probably have no experience other than digging a hole for a fence, maybe. And it's a lot different.
Yeah.
It's a lot different, and the planning behind it is huge.
That's that's what I really appreciate you guys letting us know that, because we were building there in the summer. We've dug 8 holes out there now. We've never had any issues. We had that tremendous amount of rain last summer.
Yeah.
And the hole that I dug filled up with water, and we had to pump it out. But we never had any flooding anywhere around the subdivision, and those ponds collect a bunch of water. So,
Well, you got 2 ponds, 13 acres in total. That's what those 2 ponds are.
oh,
So,
wow.
That's a lot of water, right? So,
Right.
Again, it's all designed to go to those ponds.
All
All
right.
the storm is designed to go to those ponds, and then it's released.
Okay, that wraps us up. Thanks, fellas.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.